لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك محمد نبينا بنور هدينا محمد نبينا بنور هدينا.
In line with the provisions of its act, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, has commenced the renewal of licenses to state pilgrims welfare boards that have met NAHCON guidelines to conduct Hajj operations. The states issued with the licenses are Yobe, Zamfara, Kaduna, and Nasarawa, among others. At separate presentation ceremonies, NAHCON Acting Secretary Ahmed Maigari and the Director of Procurement Sule Ningi represented the Commission Chairman Barrister Abdullahi Mukhtar.
This license is with effect from 17th of April 2019 to 16th of April 2021.
I wish that Nasarawa State Pilgrims Welfare Board will make the utmost use of this license for the benefit of humanity, Muslims and humanity at large.
The license determines, among other things, the number of pilgrims allocated to states that qualify. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, has expressed its appreciation to the Saudi Arabian ambassador to Nigeria, Adnan Bosaji, for facilitating early commencement of pilgrims' biometric data capturing. The head of public affairs at NAHCON, Fatima Sanda Usara, made the commendation in a statement. She said the exercise is already underway in states that have successfully uploaded details of their registered pilgrims on the e-portal and have completed all requirements. The states are Kaduna, Kwara, Gombe, Bauchi, Kano, Lagos and Zamfara. In Lagos, the Executive Secretary of the Board, Ishola Rahman, said intending pilgrims are to come forth with their international passports, without which they will not be attended to. In Kaduna, just as in other states, the process is ongoing without hitches. Dalhatu Musa is the Kaduna Board Head of Operations. He sheds more light.
As you have seen, we have so far captured more than 100 pilgrims right now. The work is going smoothly and in a very speedy manner. And the pilgrims are cooperating, as well as all our officers are on the ground. I think we have no problem.
Some of them who took part in the exercise bear their minds.
From all indicating, it seems that it was working very fast. As you can see, we're here since around 7 something, but the earlier you come, the better they serve you.
NAHCON is calling on other states to fulfill all registration requirements to enable them commence data capturing for their pilgrims. In the meantime, intending pilgrims from Lagos State have been urged to be time conscious when coming for the weekly Pilgrims Enlightenment Program. The chairman of Lagos State Pilgrims Board, Dr. Tajuddin Yusuf, made the plea at the inaugural lecture in Ikeja, Lagos. He also sought the cooperation and commitment of the intending pilgrims, saying they should make good use of the opportunity to learn more about Hajj rites.
Are you an intending pilgrim for the 2019 Hajj exercise? Do you intend to perform the Umrah or Lesser Hajj in 2019? If yes, then hurry and have your biometric data captured at the State Pilgrims Welfare Board. Biometric data capturing is a mandatory requirement for the issuance of a visa into the country. The biometric data capturing exercise has commenced and it is free. Present yourself with the details of your registration and your biometric data will be captured. Remember, no biometric data, no visa and no Hajj.
The provisions of medical services to Nigerian pilgrims during the Hajj exercise is a key mandate of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON. To achieve this, it is imperative for NAHCON to have in place a resilient, cost-effective and responsive medical team that can meet the health needs of all pilgrims in line with international best practices. With preparations for the 2019 underway, NAHCON constituted a medical review committee to look at how the outing for the 2019 Hajj would look like against the backdrop of new developments and challenges. Head of the National Medical Mission in Hajj, Dr. Ibrahim Kana, shed more light on why NAHCON is reviewing the activities of the National Medical Team.
Ab initio, what category of healthcare workers are we recruiting? How much are we going to pay them? How many number of days are we going to spend over there? You know, what would be their responsibility in terms of their attitude to the patients, which is most paramount. And again, also looking at some of the innovations that we're introducing this year, it needs to be incorporated into the 2018 guideline. Therefore, every year it's a practice that we'll sit down, review the previous year's activities, then develop a framework for this for the subsequent Hajj operation. So that's what we did basically to look at to develop a guideline that will help us to operate the 2019 Hajj, as it were.
To carry everybody along in developing the medical guidelines, NAHCON ensures that key Hajj stakeholders such as the state executives, tour operators, and representatives of Ministry of Health are involved. The Commission is also planning to ensure that environmental officers are recruited by states to form part of their welfare team to help the pilgrims maintain proper sanitary conditions in their apartments while in Saudi Arabia.
States should take charge now. They should recruit environmental officers, train them, let them be with the pilgrims from Nigeria and even the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Let them live within the pilgrim accommodation. One, they will ensure pilgrims' personal hygiene is maintained, environmental hygiene is maintained, in as much as within the hotels where pilgrims live, there are workers who are supposed to be cleaning. The environmental health officers will ensure that those cleaning are done properly and waste are disposed effectively, particularly toilets. Many of our pilgrims don't know how to use the toilets. The environmental health officers that are called Wole Wole or Dubagari should be with the pilgrims. So we're underscoring the importance now to the extent that they will work with the state.
The committee's terms of reference are to find ways to consolidate on the gains of 2018 and come up with new plans for 2019 Hajj to address challenges. It is also to ensure that the National Medical Team continue to operate as one medical team made up of both federal and state medical personnel. Federal government will contribute 30% of the medical personnel, while states will deploy 70% of the National Medical Team of 2019. States will pay the entitlements of its personnel on the National Medical Team, likewise the federal government. Federal government will provide 70% of drugs and medical consumables, while the remaining 30% will be provided by states. The contribution of medical personnel by each state will be proportionate to the number of their pilgrims. In addition to this, medical personnel will do online registration and provide guarantors to be part of this year's team.
And that's why we have now introduced the online registration for all medical personnel so that we have full bio data. And every medical personnel signing in to work for us must attest to the fact that he will abide to the rules and regulations. In a situation where any medical personnel that is found wanting, we shall communicate same to his employers and indeed his guarantors, because you must have a guarantor. You must submit a guarantor form that somebody that can stand for you in terms of your attitude during the operation. These are things that we are now putting together, learning from what happened last year.
All medical personnel will take part in pre-Hajj workshops in order to prepare them for the task in Saudi Arabia.
For those that are going to perform Hajj, this may just be their first time of performing Hajj. Therefore, we have resolved also that before the commencement of Hajj, we shall invite them for an orientation exercise. One, we'll give them training on the tenets of Hajj and background of Islam in general, so that they themselves are also officials. As a medical personnel, you are not only supposed to provide medical services, you are also be a spiritual leader. So you need to be informed, you yourself, so that you can actually give same to the pilgrims. Thirdly, we are going to train them, in terms of ways to utilize or to use our equipment, i.e. the electronic medical record. Some may not be computer literate, so we are going to give them full training in Abuja before departure. And of course, the issue of teamwork will also be emphasized during such exercise.
The committee is also perfecting the plan of having members of the medical team in every flight when the airlift of pilgrims for the 2019 Hajj commences. This is to ensure that pilgrims with medical needs on board are attended to.
This year we have resolved all aircrafts moving from Nigeria conveying pilgrims will have on board medical personnel. This is a system that we're introducing now, and we must do it to the fullest, so that when there are emergencies, quite okay, aircraft or airlines have facilities to cater for emergencies. But in this situation whereby a lot of the pilgrims are not the usual international pilgrims, so we are going to be putting medical personnel that are local to that state.
For effective medical service delivery, a part of the national medical team will not perform the Hajj to enable them attend to the medical needs of pilgrims.
The medical personnel that we are recruiting, are going to provide medical services. So now we are now making it mandatory that in as much as you are going for Hajj, it's not mandatory that you perform Hajj. Therefore, a certain number of the medical personnel we are going to take for this year's Hajj certainly are not going to perform Hajj. The reason is because they only pay attention to the pilgrims. You realize that when pilgrims are moving from Mina, Muzdalifah, Arafat back to Makkah, there are issues. Pilgrims encounter issues. So a situation where 100% of the medical personnel performing Hajj does not tell good of their responsibilities. So some certainly will not.
Furthermore, the clinics to be established by the national medical team must be located closer to where the pilgrims reside for easy access to medical services. Medical personnel that will be posted to the apartments where pilgrims are lodged should be able to communicate with the pilgrims in their local language.
The people that work, the personnel that work within that facility must speak the language of the pilgrims around there. For example, areas where you have pilgrims who are mostly Yoruba speaking, it only stands to reason that the medical personnel that will be posted to that clinic will also be Yoruba speaking. Same also with Hausa speaking, Fulani speaking, and all the other Nigerian languages. We try to cater for the pilgrims so that pilgrims will feel at home when they come to our facilities.
Qualified Nigerian medical personnel residing in Saudi Arabia or neighboring countries will also be given the opportunity to offer medical services to Nigerian pilgrims. To achieve NAHCON's noble objective of improved coordination and harmonization of all Hajj-related medical services for the benefit of Nigerian pilgrims, there must be commitment from all stakeholders.
الله ربنا هو الإله له من الأسماء ما اصطفاه الواحد الحي كذا المليك.
Welcome to the quiz segment. Our question last week was, list 3 conditions of Hajj. The correct answer is being a Muslim, attaining adulthood, and having sound mental health. The winner of last week's quiz is Umar Muhammad of number 1B Niami Road, Ungwarimi, Kaduna North Local Government, Kaduna. He answered the question ahead of others. Umar Muhammad will be contacted on how NAHCON will get his prize across to him. For this week, the question is, name the miqat for pilgrims entering Mecca from Medina. I repeat, name the miqat for pilgrims entering Mecca from Medina. Text your answer to the number showing on your screen. The winner will be the first person whose correct answer is received. All answers should carry name and location of sender. Good luck and happy viewing.
الله ربنا هو الإله.
شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك.
When proceeding for the Hajj, intending pilgrims are expected to prepare themselves in order to have a successful pilgrimage to the Holy Land. What are those things intending pilgrims must do as part of preparations for the Hajj?
Spiritual, social, and
on Hajj Talk tonight, Dr. Khalid Abubakar Aliyu answers these and other questions. He first explains Hajj as a pillar of Islam.
Hajj has been mandated in the Quran, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. Allah mandates mankind, the Muslims, to go on pilgrimage to Mecca, but for those whom Allah has given the economic wherewithal and all the other requirements of security of the route to go to Hajj and has the capacity in his own health to be able to perform this.
As a necessary prerequisite, intending pilgrims must be knowledgeable about the Hajj.
Therefore, you have to know, okay, the categories of Hajj, the Ifrad, the Qiran, and the Tamattu', you have to even know them. Somebody might have done one dozen times of Hajj, but you ask him, Ya al-Hajj, which type of Hajj have you performed? He said, I have just gone for Hajj. Finish. You have to even know which are the 3 types of Hajj approved in Islam, and this is 1. 2, and you have to know all the requirements. What are the obligatory steps? What are the sunnah steps? What vitiates your Hajj? What makes it void? What makes it valid?
In addition, pilgrims must prepare themselves morally.
You have to be morally prepared that, alhamdulillah, all the means you are going to use should be within the confine of the lawful means. You try to do this.
Pilgrims must also meet the needs of their families and other financial obligations before embarking on Hajj.
Somebody is not supposed to go for Hajj if there are other pressing needs. Maybe feeding the family, maybe paying the rent in the house, and he could be ejected and the family will be thrown out and so on. These are very important immediate needs. Maybe you need the school fees of your children and so on and so forth, until you have the real economic wherewithal to be able to do that. And that nobody asks you to go and get a loan. Nobody asks you to go and get a loan. If Allah gives you, because I've been hearing, I want to believe that some people go to borrow. Because you will say, in my village, all the people have gone for Hajj. And I feel belittled when people don't call me Al-Hajj. So it doesn't matter. I will go and do an overdraft in the bank. Allah did not ask you to do that.
Similarly, pilgrims must ensure that they are in good health and are physically fit.
Doctors are there. They tell you what you are supposed to do. The temperature there is higher than ours. You need to take a lot of water. You need to take a rest. You need to, even if it's somebody that doesn't walk, before he goes for Hajj, let him begin to just walk certain distance, because there he has to really walk a lot. It's really very important.
There is also the need for intending pilgrims to leave a will behind.
Rasulullah ﷺ said, it is a duty upon every Muslim to make his will before the passing of the night. In case he dies, then there's a will. And if he did not die, then tomorrow he updates. He's indebted to, or he was indebted to. These are really very important, but people today don't care. That maybe the top to bottom of a person is all but debts. Whatever, the car, the cellular phone, the shoes, and so on. And you find that when somebody dies and it becomes a trouble and a problem, it's very important that somebody writes his will. So it's not only for Hajj, because there was not even specific mention that it should be in Hajj, because Muslims are obliged to write their wills every night, and they must update.
Dr. Khalid Abubakar Aliyu advises pilgrims to steer clear of contrabands and drugs, advising that they must respect the laws of Nigeria and that of Saudi Arabia in the course of the Hajj exercise.
Pilgrims must be careful, and if they don't, I think they will feel it in themselves, and the wrath of the law will work on them. So we hope they will really abide by the laws and rules and regulations of the holy cities. I urge our pilgrims to be good ambassadors of our dear country, Nigeria, and we hope that they will learn so many lessons which will become experience of life for the betterment of our own country.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, advises those traveling for the Umrah or Lesser Hajj not to carry any prohibited items in their luggage. Such items include drugs, kola nuts, gaseous or explosive materials, knife or sharp objects, cash above the limit allowed. Any luggage containing these prohibited items might put the pilgrims in trouble. NAHCON also warns Umrah pilgrims not to allow anybody to carry or check in luggage on their behalf at airports, either in Nigeria or Saudi Arabia. Doing so is dangerous, as these prohibited items could be put in your luggage, thereby implicating you. Remember, all luggage are subjected to customs check at airports. Wishing you a successful Umrah.
NAHCON and States Pilgrims Board jointly carry out the activities of Hajj management in Nigeria. This week on Spotlight, we focus on Oyo State. The staff of Oyo State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board working assiduously to ensure that pilgrims from the state are well served, particularly on the forthcoming Hajj. Sheikh Taufik Akeuba Gold is the chairman of the board. He explains its mandate.
Is to take care of the pilgrims while in Nigeria as well as while in Saudi Arabia. The welfare package for the pilgrims must be approved by the government, and the government seal to everything we are doing here, Oyo State government. Although majority of directives were taken from National Hajj Commission, but that notwithstanding, I'm a political appointee, so I must take permission and directive right from my boss, His Excellency, Senator Isaac Abiola Ajimabi. So in summary, we have to take care of the pilgrims right from Nigeria down to Saudi Arabia, back to Nigeria.
To achieve these, the board introduced some changes in its operations in order to make Hajj management in Oyo State much more effective.
The first assignment when we arrive here is to make sure that we digitalize everything. A lot of agents were capitalizing on the weakness of the board, on the loopholes, to dupe the board to all sorts of sharp practices. Gone were those days when agents will come into this office with a single teller and use it to claim 4 pilgrims.
For the successful registration, we have our ICT fully equipped and fully manned by experts. So there is going to be each free registration in Zahala. All our staff, they are there working day in, day out. The account departments are there, the administration department, the ICT. So all of us are working together for the success of the registration exercise.
In addition to this, the Oyo State Pilgrims Board is keen into the various reforms introduced by NAHCON for better service delivery. The reforms include introduction of National Medical Team, use of ICT for registration, licensing of pilgrim boards, as well as accommodation policy.
Barrister Mukhtar is being a source of inspiration to those of us at the board, at the state level, because he has been working so sagaciously to the extent that when you see him working, when you see him talking, you even bow, because the policies and the reforms which he has been introducing since he came on board has been very, very good to Hajj operation in Nigeria.
To ensure that pilgrims have better understanding of Hajj rites and other related matters, the board engages them in different forms of awareness campaigns.
We invite all the pilgrims down into our camp here. We try to make some makeshift shed, which one will represent Arafah, one will represent Jamarat, another one will represent Mona. We put on Ihram in the presence of men to see how they put on Ihram. Then every one of us will try to move from Mecca to Mina, from Mina to Arafah, from Arafah back to Muzdalifah, Muzdalifah back to Jamarat, Jamarat back to Mina. So we do everything practical here.
With NAHCON upgrading Hajj camps across the country, Oyo State has been earmarked as one of the states benefiting. An ultra-modern hospital, a hotel and conference hall are expected to be constructed for use by the pilgrims.
إن الحمد والنعمة لك